my name is Leah and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about some of my reading goals for 2021, which I am excited about. Some of these are going to be kind of vague goals. I don't want to put a lot of restrictions on myself because I feel like I'll just kind of stress myself out if I give myself a lot of specific goals and a lot of numbers. I have a couple of numbers here, but for the most part I'm not going to be doing a lot of like numbers goals outside of the number of books that I want to read this year. One of the first things I really want to do is branch out the genres that I'm reading. I feel like that's something that I started to do last year and that I want to do even more of. And in general, I want to read more from lots of different genres, but there are two genres specifically I want to talk about. The first genre I really want to read more of is sci-fi because I am a huge fantasy reader and I really do like sci-fi, but I realized that I actually haven't read that many sci-fi books and I haven't looked at my stats for last year yet. That's something that I'm probably going to do at some point, but I don't think I read that many sci-fi books last year, so that's something I really want to do. I like a lot of the sci-fi books I've read and I just really want to read more from that genre. I do think that fantasy will almost definitely be my most read genre because fantasy is my favorite genre, so I probably will read a lot of fantasy, and I do want to read more adult fantasy this year. That is another goal of mine, so you definitely will still see lots of fantasy on my channel since it is my favorite genre. The other genre I really want to focus on is nonfiction. I have had a hard time in the past with nonfiction because I find it hard to get through nonfiction books when I'm reading them physically, but something I started doing last year, which I think is going to really help me with nonfiction, is reading nonfiction on audio. I read several nonfiction audiobooks last year and I enjoyed that experience, and I think that is going to be the best way for me to get through nonfiction books. So I think the goal that I'm going to set for myself this year is to read on average one nonfiction book a month. I might up that to two, I'm not sure, but for now I think I'm going to say that on average I would like to read one nonfiction per month, and most of those will likely be audiobooks. I haven't read one yet this month and it's getting close to the end of January, so hopefully I will get to a nonfiction book in January, but if not, like I said, the goal is not going to be necessarily one book each month, but on average one book a month. Or like I said, I might increase it to 2 books, I'm not sure. The next goal I have is that, especially recently, I have been reading more books by marginalized authors, but I want to continue doing that and read even more books by marginalized authors, so that's something that I really want to do this year. I don't have a specific number goal for this. Like I said, I'm not going to come up with many specific number goals, but that's just something that I really want to pay attention to this year. Another huge goal that I have for this year is to get my physical TBR down. There's no possible way that I will get it to 0. That is not my goal. That would be far too ambitious. That is not possible unless I unhaul like half of my physical TBR. But I need to get that TBR down because it is out of control. I'm really excited because I am already making progress on this. Of the books that I've read so far in 2021, the majority of them have been from my physical TBR. So far, I'm doing well. Will that continue? Maybe not, we'll see, but so far I'm doing well. The one thing about this goal is that I'm going to have to figure out how to balance this goal with my goal to read more from marginalized authors. A lot of these books were bought like 4 years ago and I really want to read them, but I also, like I said, want to read way more books by marginalized authors. And that's not to say my entire physical TBR is like white and straight, but a good portion of the books are, and I really don't want to read just white straight books this year. Not that I did that last year, because I definitely didn't, but I'm really gonna have to figure out how to balance those things. As for a number goal, at the moment my Goodreads goal is set to 50 books, but I think I'm going to increase it to 100. At the time I'm filming this, I have read 11 books so far this year, and that's already a fifth of the way through that goal. so I think it is safe to increase it to 100. I didn't want to set it to 100 at first because I didn't want to put too much pressure on myself or overwhelm myself, and I read a lot of books last year, but that was very outside of the normal, and that is especially because for a lot of last year I was not working and I was kind of by myself a lot of the time, and so I was spending pretty much all of my time reading to try to not lose it, you know? And I'm definitely going to still be doing a lot of reading this year, but I do not think I will be reading to the extent that I did last year. And I am working right now. It's only part-time, but I'm hoping to get a full-time job soon, so that will be taking up a majority of my time, so I definitely won't be reading as much, but I think I am safe to increase it to 100. So I think for this video I'm going to say that my number goal is 100, even though at the moment my Goodreads is still at 50. I think I'll probably increase that at the end of January, depending on how things look and how much I feel like that might be putting pressure on me. That kind of moves into some of my channel goals, because one of my channel goals is to not put pressure on myself. Anytime last year that I didn't post for a week or two, I felt very, very stressed out. I felt like I was letting my channel down, and sometimes I know I just need to take breaks, and I am going to try to be consistent, but I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on myself because I really don't want to stress myself out, because this is a hobby of mine. I'm doing this completely in my free time, and it does take up a lot of time, so I don't want to put a lot of pressure on myself. And I do want to say I'm just really happy with where this channel has gone in the last year, because I really restarted my channel in March of last year. I had posted a video in like December of 2019, and I had videos on my channel from like 4 years ago that I have privated because they're not great. And the first video in years that I had posted was that December video, so that's like the first video back, but then I didn't like actually come back until March. So March was really when my channel came back around, so it's actually been less than a year since I started posting on my channel again. I've had a really good time interacting with people and talking about books, talking to people in the comment section, making friends. I've made a lot of friends on Twitter, and I'm just really happy about that. So I'm happy about how my channel has gone in the past year, and I'm looking forward to doing more with it this year. One thing I do want to do, I'm trying not to put too much pressure on myself about it, like I said, but I need to catch up with all the vlogs I either started to film or already filmed most of, because I have like 4 or 5 vlogs that are at least partially filmed that I need to finish. Some of them I need to read a couple more books for, so I need to get to that, but I am so behind on those. There's a couple themed vlogs I did. There were a couple like 24-hour series reading vlogs that I did, and I just really need to get those up. For some reason, editing vlogs and getting all those clips together and everything stresses me out more than editing regular videos, so that's part of the reason I haven't gotten to them. Another thing I want to do is catch up on my Sapphic Reads series. I have a series of videos on my channel where I talk about all of the Sapphic books that I have ever read, and so far I have made 2 videos in that series, but I have already read enough Sapphic books that I think I can make at least 3 or 4 more videos in that series based on the number of books I have talked about in each video so far. So I'm going to be making more of those this year, and I want to get to the point where I have caught up to all of the Sapphic books that I have read, and then I'll just put more episodes out as I read more books. I think those are kind of all of the goals that I have for both reading and my channel, but especially with my channel, let me know if there is anything you would like to see from me. There's a lot of things that I kind of had plans for and then they didn't really end up happening, but definitely let me know if there are any specific videos you would like me to make, if there's anything you want to see me do. Oh, one goal I did just remember that I want to do, this isn't necessarily a book related thing, but I would like to film at least one like movie or TV reaction. I know that's not related to books at all, but that's something I want to do. And kind of on that same vein, I want to start doing maybe monthly like wrap-ups of other media that I've consumed, so music, movies, TV shows, podcasts, things like that. I don't really know what to call those videos because I can't just call it like January wrap-up because those are my book wrap-ups. So if you have an idea for that, let me know. Oh, and speaking of wrap-ups, I want to actually film a wrap-up for every month this year because I did not do that in 2020. I got so behind on wrap-ups. I didn't do my October wrap-up, I didn't do my November wrap-up, I didn't do any of that. I just got behind and I got stressed and it didn't happen. But I am hoping to actually do that this year. It would be helpful if I started by filming my December wrap-up because I haven't done that yet. And it's still January, so I feel like I can still do that versus at this point it's been so long since October and November, I can't do those wrap-ups. And I can't like combine November and December because I read too many books in both December and November to combine that into one video because it would be like an hour and a half long. So I can't do that. If you can hear any noise in the background, I apologize. I live in an apartment building and I feel like half the day I can hear children screaming. So yeah, I need to do my December wrap-up. I want to actually do wrap-ups for every month this year because I got so behind on doing that. But like I said, let me know if there's anything specific you would like to see from me. If you've made it this far in the video, let's say leave like, I don't know, some sort of like notebook emoji. That's the closest thing I can come up with that has to do with like a list, and this is like reading goals. So some sort of notebook emoji maybe, if you have something like that. Let me know if you have any 2021 reading goals. I would love to hear about them. If you enjoyed watching this, you can give it a like, and you can also subscribe to my channel so you can actually see if I achieve these reading goals. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Another thing I want to do is catch up on my Sapphic Reads series. I lost my train of thought.